That was tragic because I love my aprons. Hi friends, Cassandra here. Let's talk about old-fashioned gifts people used to give and a few I think we should bring back. Now, I'm not sure if this is true for you, but one of the first markers of the holiday season for me is the deluge of catalogs and magazines that start crowding my mailbox from November all the way through December 25th. And while I mostly rehome these magazines immediately into the recycling bin, the other day I stopped and I browsed through a couple of them. And can I tell you, the blaring advertisements made me realize just how much I appreciate how the old-fashioned Christmas traditions and songs speak louder to my soul and sentiment than whatever we have going on today. The clear message was that if you have anything old, and by old, they were sometimes referring to last year's edition. It's definitely time for you to upgrade to this year's edition, lest you be left behind in the antiquity of 2019. Now, I'm being a little facetious, but this was really frustrating because there are plenty of things that never go out of style. Time with loved ones never becomes outdated. Old poetry, old songs, old stories, they never lose their value. Yes, technology is newer and convenient, but it is not always better. It's better to connect face to face than online. It's better to sit in front of a fireplace than Netflix. And it's definitely more enjoyable to have your favorite home-cooked meal than takeout any night of the week. Now, to be sure, I certainly think that the best gifts are those things that can't be wrapped. A set of classes or a concert or an experience with a loved one. But in striking contrast to the majority of gifts that are exchanged today, which often contain low sentimental value, are often forgotten about a few weeks after they're exchanged, or put the giver in a financial bind, what if we really took a hint at how previous generations shared and gave gifts? You know, gifts that have a little history and time-worn charm. And in thinking about this, I came up with a list of 5, and there are certainly plenty more, gifts that people used to exchange that I think we should bring back. Because while they might not be popular, expensive, or tech-based, they actually provide a deeper gift for the recipient in terms of helping you to enjoy life, your health, and focus on your priorities. And that's gotta be better than a gadget, right? Now, these are in no particular order, but I think the first thing that we should bring back is something in a jar. Everyone appreciates a homemade gift, and you'll never go wrong with food. There's just something personal about sharing the harvest, even if it came from the farmer's market last summer. Now, jams and jellies are always a hit. But if you've got a foodie friend or family member, go ahead and share a jar or sauce too. And it's easy to ante up by accessorizing. What I like to do is include a crusty loaf of bread or fancy crackers with jams or jellies, or maybe add tortilla chips with your spicy homemade salsa, or dried pasta to go with my canned spaghetti sauce. I'll include a link to several of my canning videos in the cards above. In previous generations, you'd label and date your jar, cover the lid with a piece of fabric and a ribbon. It creates a stunning presentation on anyone's kitchen cabinet, pantry, or shelf. Number 2, a wristwatch. All right, full disclosure here. For the past 5 years, I have worn a smartwatch. And the reason why I made the transition is because I thought it would be more convenient for work. And truly, at work, it is. It allows me to be super responsive to emails or missed calls and keep up with my calendar on the go. But one of the things that I have reveled in during quarantine is not having a piece of equipment tied to my wrist that is always dinging or vibrating or pinging me, interrupting my focus, reminding me of things that I have or haven't accomplished for that day. So while excellent for work, I am definitely strongly reconsidering going back to an analog wristwatch, just so I can retain my watch as an instrument of time. But that's not the only reason that I want to go back to a traditional watch. After only having this watch for a couple of years, it's about to be rendered inoperable because the software on it is getting too old. That's right. And what's worse is that I won't have the option of just replacing the battery because it will be completely out of date. In essence, the watch will just be a digital shell and I'll be forced to upgrade. This is a cycle that I want to break out of right now because it just screams needless consumption. In cases of watches, older is definitely better than newer because I can just replace the battery and a classic watch will last you for generations, not just 4 or 5 years. Number 3, a tea set. I truly believe that tea time can help you enjoy life. I know that stopping for tea may sound insane, but it proves the point that taking time to relax actually does require some discipline. But building time to consistently relax in your schedule is proven to help you enjoy life, improve your health, and focus on your priorities and make sure that they're a part of your day-to-day. Now, I'm not saying that you have to make time for tea every day in order to have a happy life. But what I am saying is that if you're constantly working and doing all the other things and filling in all the blanks in your life, time quickly passes where you go days, weeks, months, sometimes years without stopping to enjoy your loved ones and your friends. And it becomes routine that you only rarely make time to stop and spend time with loved ones or friends that you truly enjoy. Whether you're taking time to sit at a park or even at your kitchen table without distractions from the TV, computer, or other electronic devices, just for a few minutes, it can help you sit back and have mental space to think, reflect, and count your blessings. Inviting a friend over for a mid-afternoon or early evening cup of tea, or hot chocolate, is a great way to spend a relaxing 30 minutes. And spending time with people is a priority. Now, I'm not a tight schedule, everything the same day type of person, but even making time for simple tea once a week with a friend helps me to focus on my priorities. It can be so easy to schedule a get-together on paper, but having an unfussy event like coming over for a hot pot of tea with some finger foods really is a no-fuss event. And might I also add that having a special tea set that helps this event to differentiate itself from all of your other unromantic clunky mugs just adds to the ambiance. And whether it's a simple contemporary tea or you add traditional British tea food, there's a tea out there for everyone's preference and it's a chance to stop and relax. Number 4, aprons. Did you know that until the 1970s, aprons were a standard accessory for many occupations both in and outside of the home? And from what I've researched, when clothing became cheaper to produce, aprons simply lost their popularity. Now, this happened simultaneously when there was a wave of thinking that vilified the apron as a quintessential housewife uniform. That was tragic because I love my aprons. I actually realized that I am starting to build a small collection of aprons, and I found a vintage brand while shopping with my sister-in-law last year. Accents, it's still like neutral enough. It's gonna match with my kitchen decor. It has a deep set pocket here, so I can put my entire hand here, other utensils. Dual pockets, something small here. Oh, yes, it's not a faux pocket. Pot holder attachment, like boom, right here. You're like ready to work with this. Blogger Katie Reynolds from the blog Katie's Plates has this quote about aprons that I think captures my love affair and passion for wearing and appreciating this piece of fabric. And I'm gonna go ahead and read an excerpt from her blog post to you right now. When donning an apron, you take on the persona of someone who is truly about to engage in what they are doing. For example, cooking. Just as how a superhero puts on their cape before heading off to fight crime, putting on an apron prepares you for the act of cooking. This extra piece of clothing plays an important role in the coming event. It is to say that the meal you're about to prepare will be made with intention, care, and confidence. It is the uniform of the kitchen. So go ahead and find your old apron or buy a new one. Get it in white or try a more creative style. Whichever you choose, I guarantee your cooking experience will be transcended into a level of creativity, passion, and deliciousness. Isn't that beautiful and so perfectly stated? Yeah, we've got to bring the apron back. And number 5, oil lamps. Now, I love oil lamps for a number of reasons, and I'll just share a few right now. The first is that they're controllable. The flame can be made smaller or larger. Next, oil lamps are also flexible. They can be easily moved to where you need them, when you need them, without spilling wax. They're also pretty practical. There's a design to suit everybody, from small candles for tables of 2 or larger pieces for more impact, and guarded candle designs to protect the flame for indoor and outdoor use. Another reason that I love oil lamps is because they're clean burning. Many children and adults are sensitive to the pollutants in candles, but if you choose safe and green, your oil candle will burn without polluting the air. So that's my list of 5 old-fashioned items I think that we should bring back. And if you haven't already, please be sure to leave a comment below with your recommendation of an old-fashioned item we should bring back and why it should be revived. Not only am I interested, but I'm sure that all of us here that are old-fashioned enthusiasts would love to scroll down the comments and see what your recommendations are. To get more homesteading tips in the city and ideas to help you say yes to your farm dream, even in a small space, be sure to click subscribe and the notification bell. I'll see you in my kitchen or garden soon. Take care.